ABC Jack here. Welcome to Vinyl Martini. It's Saturday night. I am going to do a ranking video. This is my first ranking video ever. I chose Roxy Music because, well, I simply love them. And they only released 8 records. So it's very, very doable. And it's if a band releases 30 records over the 40 years or so, I couldn't even attempt that. Which reminds me, Brian, we're still looking for the next installment of the John Cale series. You should work on that, get back to that now that you're back in the basement. And I am having a martini. Cheers. Oh, that's so good. If Emma's watching this, I'm so jealous of Emma because she got to have a martini with Mazzy in Chicago last week or the week before. So Mazzy is one of the reasons I named my channel Vinyl Martini, because when I first started watching his videos, he would sometimes shake up a martini. They would have little parties down there in his basement when he's showing records. And I thought, well, that's a perfect name for a record channel because I like martinis as well. And he likes them the way I do, shaken, not stirred, ice cold. Anyways, this was a hard choice. And I want to just, right off the bat, I want to say that the difference between the lower position Roxy Music albums and the highest position is like about that much, because I love them all. They're all great records. And how did I come up with my ranking? Well, I got on my computer and I did Billboard chart positions and threw in some lyrics, and that's total bullshit. I didn't do that. I just lay them on the carpet and I lived with them for 3 days, and I would sort of rearrange them once in a while. And today I finally came up with my final numbering system. It changed tomorrow, of course. But anyways, let's just start with the lowest ranking Roxy Music album. And that is Flesh and Blood. Still a good record, but first record without Paul Thompson on drums. Paul Thompson, just before they went in the studio, he had a motorcycle accident, and I think he broke his thumb. So he wasn't able to play. So they have session drummers here. Andy Schwartzberg, Andy Newmark, and Simon Phillips. I mean, they're all great drummers, but they're not Paul Thompson. Paul Thompson's one of the great unheralded drummers in the rock world, just for his work with Roxy Music. Fantastic drummer. So this record here, to me, this is when Brian Ferry's took over. This was Brian, it says Roxy Music, but it should say this is a Brian Ferry solo record, because I think he just treated the rest of the other members of the band, that's Brian Ferry, Phil Manzanera, Andy Mackay. Those are the 3 original members on this record. But I think he just treats them like session players, and I think the record is it's less dangerous than the other Roxy Music records. Highly melodic, and it's got a couple of covers on here, which I don't really appreciate too much. He does a cover of the Midnight Hour and 8 Miles High. The rest are Brian Ferry originals, I think, and there was no hits on here. But right after they released this, I think John Lennon was murdered, and Brian Ferry and Roxy Music did a cover of Jealous Guy, and they got a lot of press and a lot of sales from that single. So anyways, my least favorite Roxy Music album. After that, in 1981, they recorded Avalon. Again, another strong record. Paul Thompson, after Flesh and Blood was released, Paul Thompson toured with them for a while, but then he left the band over musical differences with Brian Ferry. And I think, basically, reading between the lines, I think Brian just wanted, he just wanted session players to play exactly what he wanted. So Paul wasn't having anything to do with that, so he left. And I don't have the liner notes for this here. I just have this. So my copy does not have the liner notes, but again, Phil Manzanera and Andy Mackay are playing on here. And again, this is a very, very smooth record. I think this is a record that a lot of people got into Roxy Music belatedly, because it's very smooth. It's it's a very safe album. Some great songs on here. More Than This is on here. Avalon is a great song. While the Heart is Still Beating, another great song. True to Life, another, they're all great songs, but it's just not the same as the albums that preceded this, where I think the band members had more input into what went on in the recording session. So number 7, if anybody's counting, that is Roxy Music's Avalon from 1981, and that is the last studio album they would record. Next up is an album that I really, really enjoy, but I'm putting it low here for some reason because the other records are just simply better. This is Roxy Music Manifesto, released in, I should know this, 1979. And this was after a 3-year hiatus. It seemed like the band had broken up, but they released this in 1979, and I saw them on this tour, and they were fantastic. And this is a really good record as well. Nobody ever shows it. I don't think anybody ever talks about it in the VC, or if they have, I haven't seen their videos, but it is very, very good. Manifesto is just an excellent start to the album. Still Falls the Rain is fantastic. That's a composition written with Phil Manzanera, and the band on here is Brian Ferry, Phil Manzanera, Andy Mackay, Gary Tibbs, Paul Thompson is playing drums, of course, Alan Spenner, and Paul Carrick is playing keyboards on this. So beautiful record. Ain't That So is a fantastic song as well. The only song I don't really like is Dance Away, because of maybe that was a single that did pretty good, got a lot of airplay, but it just doesn't seem to fit on the record. Spin Me Round is another great song. So Roxy Music, in the number 6 position, Manifesto from 1979. I think a lot of people will be surprised that I'm putting this in the number 5 position, I guess. I'm going to lose track of this numbering system, I guarantee it, but this is their debut album from 1972, self-titled Roxy Music. And there is the original lineup of the band, 1972. Of course, Phil Manzanera, Andy Mackay, Brian Ferry. Graham Simpson was a member of the band. While it was forming, he plays bass. He was to leave shortly after this. I think he had some kind of maybe a little bit of a breakdown. There's the mighty Paul Thompson right there, one of my favorites in the band, and of course Brian Eno. It might interest you to know that Brian Ferry, before he put the band together, or it wasn't all Brian Ferry's doing, but anyways, he auditioned for King Crimson to be a replacement vocalist, I think in 1970 or something like that. Obviously, he did not get the job, but while auditioning, he made friends with Robert Fripp and Pete Sinfield, and Pete Sinfield and Fripp was instrumental in getting them signed to the EG Music Group, and this is released on EG Records, I think. It's on EG Records, but distributed by Island Records. This is a British copy. It's fantastic. And this is a really, really fantastic record. I can remember, this was the first Roxy Music album I heard. I heard their second before this, and then when I heard this, I just went crazy. Remake, remodel. I'd never heard anything like that before. Ladytron, Is There Something, 2HB, The Bob, Chance Meaning, Would You Believe, Sea Breezes, and Bitter End. So fantastic, just a really, really fresh sound. Never heard anything like this before. I was more of a classic rock kind of guy, listening to the Doors and Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin, etc., etc. So this was like a breath of fresh air. Really opened my eyes that a band could be like this. What are Roxy Music anyways? Are they glam? Are they a glam band? I just thought of a new music category, by the way. If glam rock is a category, how about slob rock? We should have a slob rock category as well. But Roxy Music was not a sloppy or a slobby band at all. Their image, these pictures are just never seen. We'd never seen bands wearing clothes like that. It was just unbelievable. Next up is Country Life. Probably one of the sexiest covers ever shot. I showed this a while ago, and one of my viewers wrote and said, you know, by the way, one of those girls is not a girl, it's a trans. And I did a little research, not true at all. These are two German girls. One of them is a member of Kahn, the German band Kahn, the krautrock band Kahn. She is his sister. So two German girls, fantastic cover and a fantastic record. Very controversial because when they started selling this in North America, it had like a colored wrap on it, so you could not see the cover. And then after that run was sold, they just had a cover that was just the fir tree there, and on both sides. And my copy, of course, is a British press, so I've got the original cover. Fantastic record. The thrill of it all is what a fantastic song to start off with. All I Want Is You. Out of the Blue. Oh, every song is just killer. Bittersweet. Casanova. A really good time. Fantastic crooning songs on here. Some hard rockers. Just excellent record. I see I've lost count already. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number 4. Roxy Music, A Country Life. I bought this record when the first day it came out. I bought an import, British import, produced by Chris Thomas. Chris Thomas started producing them, I think, after the second record onwards. I think he produced all the records, if the records weren't self-produced by the band. And the first record was produced by Pete Sinfield from King Crimson. So their fifth record, this is just called Roxy Music, and what is the title here? Well, I can't. Siren, of course. I can't read this thing. It's got blue on gold. I can't read it, but fantastic cover. There's Jerry Hall on the cover, who Brian Ferry was going out with. She would shortly leave him for Mick Jagger, but oh well, I don't think Brian was crying the blues there. Fantastic songs. Of course, their biggest hit that they had, like a biggest single in North America, was Love Is the Drug. What a start with that. The car starting and the mighty Paul Thompson kicking in with the drums. End of the Line is great. Sentimental Fool is a fantastic song. She Sells is another great song. Could It Happen to Me? Both Ends Burning, that was another, I think, a single that was released here in North America, and finishes it off with Just Another High. So fantastic record. I've played this one to death. Again, Island Records, import. We're coming down to the last couple of records, and this one was tough. It was a tough choice, but number 2 is Roxy Music, For Your Pleasure, their second record. This is my introduction to Roxy Music. You wonder why they're called a glam band? Well, just look in the inside cover. Just fantastic record. Again, Brian Eno's still with the band. He was to leave shortly after here. Again, musical differences with Brian Ferry. They're still friends, and they have recorded together since then. Phil Manzanera is such a fantastic guitar player, so underrated. Brian, of course, on keyboards as well as vocals. On bass, we have John Porter on bass. Again, this is one of the few bands that does not have a regular person in the position playing bass. So, and Annie Mackay. What a brilliant group of pictures there. And that was the first time I had a look at Roxy Music. Just fantastic. But Do the Strand, Strictly Confidential, Editions of You, In Every Dream Home a Heartache. That is such a beautiful song. The Bogus Man, Greg Lagoons, and For Your Pleasure. So number 2 today, maybe number 1 tomorrow. And of course, if you know all the Roxy Music albums, you know that what's coming up. And this is Roxy Music at their best, I think. And this is Stranded. Got the most seditious, dangerous cover I think I've ever seen. I don't think you could put out a record with a cover like this anymore. Not just because it's pornographic, but it's just like, is this woman dead? Is she alive? Has she just been sexually assaulted? She's lying on the forest floor. Are those dead eyes? Is she alive? Who knows? But a fantastic record. Such a moody, kind of dark record. A perfect record. If you've been out for dinner, having a few drinks, and you've got the house alone, yeah, throw this one on at about 1 o'clock in the morning. Stranded, the third Roxy Music album. Street Life, Just Like You, Amazona, Psalm, Serenade, A Song for Europe, Mother of Pearl, and Sunset. Every song is a killer. Great droning music, just fantastic. I think these guys were at the height of their powers, releasing that record. So they only lasted till 1981, is that they recorded their last record. So the 1972 to 1981, so they were only together for 9 years. Some have called them the most influential band since the Beatles. Now that might be a little strong, but I don't think it's far off the mark, because I think you listen to all the post-punk stuff that's coming out of England, hugely influential on those bands, the romantic bands that were coming out in like the late 70s, early 80s. You can hear Roxy music strains through all of that music and the production values. So that's all I got there. I have a few more records, and I did not include these because they're not albums, but I do have a copy of this. This is an EP, and it is called The High Road, and it's got live versions of Can't Let Go, My Only Love, and Like a Hurricane, and Jealous Guy. Those are two classic cover songs. They do a brilliant job on that. And who was playing on it? Brian Ferry, Phil, Andy, Neil Hubbard, Andy Newmark, Alan Spencer, Jimmy Mallon, Guy Fletcher, Michelle Cobbs, and Tawatha Aggie. Brilliant live EP from 1983. Little throwaway, I guess, after the band broke up. And did not include their live album. This is Viva Roxy Music, released in 1976. And this is another British import. Pictures of the band there. And it is a good record, actually. But I find that they play the songs pretty quickly. They've sped up the tempo of these songs. Still worth getting, still worth listening to. But I have got a couple of bootlegs here, or three, that I think beat the pants off of that. I am going to have to I'm gonna have to censor this one because I just have to, because her hoo-ha is showing there. But this is Roxy Music, the 1975 tour of the United States. It's called Foolproof. It's on the Tackrell label. That's the amazing Cornyphone record label. If you're buying bootlegs, Tackrell is the label to go for. They're fantastic. Another Roxy Music album, Roxy Music, Champagne and Novocaine. A mix of studio outtakes and live performances. Again, great record. If you ever see this record out in the wild, grab it. It's great. And I know bootlegs are, it's either take it or leave it. You never know the quality, but these three are great quality albums. And again, another Roxy Music, the last one I'm going to show, and this is Roxy Music, Absinthe Makes the Heart Grow Fondle. Again, a mixture of live takes and live cuts and studio cuts. There you go. So that's all I got. If you haven't got any Roxy Music in your collection, what's wrong with you, man? You should have at least something in your collection by them, because they're such a fantastic band. Even if it's just the greatest hits, which is easy to find for $5 or $6, kicking around the used bins. Anyways, that's all I got. Oh, before I go, I have to thank my new subscribers. I was stuck at a number for, oh my God, 3 or 4 months. And I would like lose a subscriber, get a subscriber. And well, anyways, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've picked up about 13 or 14 new subscribers. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Hey, what's your favorite Roxy Music? Did I screw up there? Did I I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by talking about any of the records that you might have as number one. I'd love to hear from you. Why don't you rank them in the comments below? And I'm going to go finish my martini. My wife is out of town. She's babysitting my granddaughter. I've got the house to myself, and I have been cranking up the stereo upstairs. Like, let me tell you. I'm going to go and finish my martini. So again, cheers to everybody. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Cheers.